All right, let's dive into one of the most famous pieces of trivia out there. One of those facts that everyone just seems to know. But is it really a fact at all? Let's find out.
So here it is, the big question. You've heard it, I've heard it, we've all probably said it at some point. It's the ultimate fun fact to pull out, but is there any truth to it?
I mean, think about it. This idea is practically baked into our culture. It shows up in textbooks, on TV shows, you name it. It's just accepted as common knowledge. So today, we're going to put that common knowledge under the microscope. To really get to the bottom of this, we have to understand just how deep this idea goes. It's not just a mistake. It's a full-blown, persistent myth. And here's the claim in its full glory. It's not just that you can see the Great Wall. Oh no, the claim is that it's the only thing humans have ever built that you can spot from space with your own two eyes. It's a pretty epic idea, right? A single structure, a testament to human will, visible from the heavens. But that's where you have to pause and ask the obvious question. If it's so easy to see, you'd think the handful of people who've actually been to space would be talking about it all the time. So let's see what they have to say. Okay, it's time to get down to brass tacks. Let's do a proper fact check. And the answer, in no uncertain terms, is false. Nope, not true. The idea that you can see the Great Wall of China from space with the naked eye is, well, a great story. But that's all it is. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Let's go straight to the source. Let's hear from the people who have the absolute best view imaginable, the astronauts themselves.
Just let this one sink in for a second. This is a quote from Gene Cernan, an Apollo 17 astronaut, the last man to walk on the moon. If anyone was going to see it, it'd be him. And he says, after flying over China multiple times, he couldn't see it.
And if you need any more convincing, here's the final word from Yang Liwei. He is a national hero in China, their very first person in space. And even he came back and said, nope, it's impossible. When China's own first astronaut says you can't see it, well, that's a pretty definitive answer.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. We have eyewitness testimony from the only people who could possibly know for sure. The wall is thousands of miles long, so why on earth is it invisible? What's going on here? The answer, it turns out, is all in the science of sight. And you'll see that our intuition about what makes something big and obvious from far away is actually a little bit wrong. Here's the absolute heart of the issue. The wall's incredible length, over 13,000 miles, has nothing to do with whether you can see it from orbit. What really matters is its width, and at its widest, the Great Wall is only about 30 feet across. From space, that's just way, way too thin for the human eye to pick out.
To put that into perspective, think about a major highway or an airport runway. The Great Wall is actually narrower than many of those, and we know how hard it is to spot a road from a commercial flight, let alone from a space station orbiting hundreds of miles up.
And this is the final nail in the coffin. Contrast. A black strip of asphalt cutting through a green landscape stands out. It has high contrast. The Great Wall, on the other hand, is made of stone and earth that are, well, the same color as the mountains and terrain it's built on. It has almost zero contrast. That analogy on the slide is perfect. It's literally like trying to find a single strand of gray thread on a huge gray carpet from the other side of a room. Good luck with that.
So if the science is so clear and the astronauts are so clear, where did this crazy idea even come from? Well, you might be surprised to learn that this myth is way, way older than space travel itself.
This whole idea actually started floating around as a bit of speculation way back in the 1700s. And then, in the 1930s, it got picked up and popularized, eventually becoming a fact in Ripley's Believe It or Not. And from there, it just exploded into the public consciousness.
And that is the absolute key takeaway here. This myth wasn't started because someone saw it. It was born purely from our imagination, from our awe at this incredible structure. It became a fact decades before we ever sent a single person or camera into space to actually check. So let's zoom out for a second. What does this whole story really tell us? Because it's about more than just a wall. It's about why some ideas, true or not, are just so sticky.
So let's just recap the big points we've covered. 1. The Great Wall is not visible from space with the naked eye. Period. 2. For something to be visible from that far away, it's all about width and contrast, not length. 3. The people who've actually been there, astronauts from the US and China, all agree. And 4. This myth got its start and became a fact simply through repetition long before anyone could prove it wrong.
And this is why this story really matters. It's a perfect example of how an idea can sound so good and be so widely believed, that it becomes common knowledge, even when it's completely wrong. It shows you that a good story can be more powerful than the truth sometimes.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If a myth this huge could fool so many people for so long, what other facts do we all just accept without a second thought? What else might be worth a closer look? Thanks for tuning in.